And before you say, well, if you have to do all this, then that means they're too expensive. And again, we have to compare prices to. Hey, it's Lance McGowan here, and today I'm going to talk about the top 3 ways to afford doTERRA essential oils or an essential oil kit from doTERRA if you're enrolling for the first time. And you know, the topic of affordability versus expensive does come up as one of the top objections that I hear from prospects or just people in general on the internets or locally in person. And so I wanted to cover that because these 3 solutions are really practical, but I think they can really help somebody out if they're open to being helped, right? You can only help people that want to be helped. Before I cover the first way on how to pay for your oils, keep in mind these may seem like common sense to you, but they're not common practice, which is why I'm going over them in a video, because a lot of this is going to be mindset oriented. Alright, so what's the first way to pay for your doTERRA oils, whether it be monthly, one time, whether you're a customer already or you're thinking about becoming a customer or a wellness advocate? It's to save up for a kit. And one of the best ways to do that is with the Stash app. So I'm going to cover what the Stash app is really quickly. So I'm just going to it right now. You can see I'm opening it up. This is Stash. You can check out my links in the description below. I have more. It's loading up. It's going to look at my face to log me in. It's got a little welcome message. Alright, so I'm canceling out of that. So you can see here, I have $5,346. Not a lot, but not a little, right? And you can see I have returns on investment of 2.53% because the markets are a little bit more volatile right now, and that's $132. So I'm just zooming in. You can see that's a screen. And then what it is, so the Stash app, I'm invested in different stocks. So I'm going to just scroll down here, like AMD. I'm up, it's like 16%. Right there. So that's where you can see right there. And then if I scroll all the way down, I can see what stocks I'm down in, which is Tesla, which is down like 35%. You may be like, dang, Lance, all that for 2.5%? Well, I've been up almost 10% when, things were going good, and I've been down like 10% in unrealized losses and gains. And the purpose of Stash is just to save. And you can invest in stocks or ETFs, which are basically made up of multiple different stocks. And I earn dividends, which pay for the amount to basically have access to Stash, which is like $1 a month. And so I earn dividends. So you can see here, if I go back into here, I have $10.51 in cash. Doesn't seem like a lot, because it's not. But that's the cash that I earned from all the companies and things that I've invested in. So you can see all the different, maybe kind of hard to see. I'm invested in over 40 different stocks and ETFs. They're companies that I know, like, and trust, or they're companies that have good dividends and or stock performance. And there's ways to look that up. And so there's lots of ways to save money for a doTERRA oil, a doTERRA kit, or your monthly purchase. And this is just one way that I keep an emergency fund more so. But this is a very practical way because I can have my money make money instead of just have my money lose money due to inflation or spending it on stuff that doesn't give a good return on investment. And again, you may be like, 2%, Lance, that's not a lot. Again, it depends on market conditions. Like, I've been up 10%, I've been down 10%, and what I do is I dollar cost average. So when stocks are up, I invest the same amount every week, and when it's down, I invest the same amount. And so when I'm investing down here, I'm getting more of a stock because it's down, and then when it goes up, I'm making more money on that, and so it's really good. I know one guy who made like he had $125,000 in Stash because there's a Facebook group. He's been in it at least 2 or 3 years, and he made at least like 20 or 30%. This was like a few months ago, in between like the ups and downs of the market. But the point is, he was consistent, and so am I. Like, I invest roughly $1,000 a month, and you may be like, whoa, that's a lot, Lance. But you don't have to. You can start with $5. That's the minimum to start with one stock or ETF. And you can start saving your way to a better health, a better life. And there's also a Roth IRA option. There's life insurance with term. There's so much options in here that I don't have enough time to cover in the video. The point I'm trying to make is one of the best ways to get a doTERRA oil or kit is to save up for it, and Stash is just one way to do that on your phone. And I will have my link in the description below so you can get $5 towards your first purchase as well. And you can do some more research if you want to. If you're skeptical, you're like, I don't know, Lance, but it's legit. I've been with it since last September, and again, the return on investment is not that high right now because the market's a little volatile, but that comes, no risk, no reward. Okay, so let's go with the number 2 way to afford doTERRA oils or doTERRA kits, and that is to split the cost with family members, coworkers, friends, and other people that may have a need and are looking for a natural solution and using essential oils. And that is going to be a very practical way because that typically happens at a class or one-on-one, and I like to just let people know about that because sometimes that's what people do. And I know in some other countries it's a little more practical to do that. Alright, so let's go with the third way, and this is probably my most preferable way that people do it, because it actually isn't coming out of your own pocket, it's coming out of the pocket of the people that are receiving value, and that is hosting a class. So hosting a class, I do that digitally, you know, online with people. I do that locally, and that's a great way for people to earn money based on what other people purchase for their needs and goals with their health, and then you earn a commission of that if you are doing a certain amount, 100-point value order already in your LRP program, or if you're enrolling with a kit yourself that month too, and you did that, that's important. And so there's ways to make sure that you have to have, you know, qualify for commissions. That's a separate video. But the point I'm trying to make is hosting a class is a great way to help other people so that you can get helped and pay for your oils for free, or at least subsidize them greatly, and that is a win. And we have to keep in mind that before we say something is expensive, we have to look at what else are we spending money on. Vacations, cell phones, house, cars, eating out, fast food, I mean the whole Starbucks, I mean the list goes on and on and on. And before we look at something saying, I can't afford it, we have to look at, or do we have a budget? What else are we affording, but then not affording with regards to our health, and waiting until and being reactive instead of proactive? Because, you know, the best way to support your health is do something before it happens. And a lot of people don't think that way. They're just like, oh, when something goes wrong, then I'll worry about it. But then when something goes wrong with their health, then they're like, oh, it's too bad. I got to go see a health practitioner or somebody that's a professional now. And it's just like, well, if you would have taken care of it when it was a little thing, well, I didn't need it then because I was good. I was just going to, you know, wait it out or see what happens. Just like, no, that's the time to hit it with some oils and, you know, internally and externally and aromatically and stuff. And they're like, eh. So it's just like a lot of this, again, is going to be mindset. But I want to summarize by saying the top 3 ways to afford doTERRA oils. And before you say, well, if you have to do all this, then that means they're too expensive. And again, we have to compare prices to other brands on top of what your alternatives are. And so we have to look at things more proactively, you know. Anyways, the top 3 ways are saving it, Stash app that I mentioned earlier is going to be a great way to do that. Number 2, splitting the cost with other people. And number 3, which is most my preferable way, which is hosting a class and adding value to other people by letting someone else teach. You don't even have to teach. And then when people purchase, you earn a commission of that, which can subsidize your oils or your kit, or can pay for it completely depending on how many people attend and enroll with whatever they get. Alright, well that concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click the like button if you did, share this video with somebody that would benefit from it, and most importantly, check out the links in the description below so you can download the Stash app today, whether you know, are already in doTERRA, not in doTERRA, on the fence, wherever you're at. If you just want to save money, Stash app is a great way to do so. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video.